problems, so I'm finishing up your game right now. But I realized if I'm running late and I'm still working on it, I can just start and not share my screen yet. So I'm here. I figured it takes people a couple minutes to troll in anyway. So yeah, I'm just gonna finish up your game really quick. I'm almost done. Give it a quick proofread and then we'll get started. Welcome, welcome. Thank you for coming for those of you that are here. Um, But I don't know if I did this right. Oh, I bet it's playing an ad. Yeah, I did it right. Welcome. If it's your first time here, welcome. I saw a lot of people followed me. Pouty Princess, thanks for the follow. Mr. Zulu, Sandra, Catherine, all these people. We're going to get started in a couple of minutes. I'm just finishing up getting everything ready for you because today at work kicked my fucking ass. I didn't even have a lunch break today. I didn't even take a lunch break today because I was just working, working, working. And is it my fault? A little bit, a little bit. Could I have planned better and avoided this? Absolutely, I could have avoided it. Hey, ZK Butterworth, what is up? But yeah, I'm finishing up the game right now. Not Katie80 subscribed with Prime. ZK Butterworth. Oh, I already said hi. Welcome, welcome everybody. Howdy, Lemur Banana. Okay, I'm almost done. Quarter Life Crisis is back. Hi, Holy Angelica. Hope everyone's having a good day. Hope we're all living our best life. I'm about to share my screen, I promise. Oh my god. Today's gonna be really good. I'm excited. Was literally watching your TikTok rant on the subject and got the notification. Hi, friends. How are we? How are we living? How are we doing? Wondercats, John, Porcelaina, I caught a stream. Welcome. How are we feeling about a Thursday stream? How are we feeling about a Thursday stream? Love your pink room. So the pink room, this is our last stream with this. This is our last stream with this. So my fucking psychotic roommate is moving out on Sunday, and so her room is going to be the streaming room. So yeah, welcome, welcome. Let me focus and finish this really fast. The game is a lot of true false because I was running out of time. I'm sorry. The game is really easy today. Didn't realize it was Thursday until you said that. It's a long week. I know, right? God, this week has been... This week has hands. This week really has hands. How's everyone's day been? How are we living? She made fun of me for being poor. I used to have a terrible roommate. Oh, I gotta know. Thursdays are a vibe. I'm glad we're into Thursday. What do I want to DoorDash? I unfortunately had homophobic chicken from DoorDash. I always feel mixed feelings about ordering homophobic chicken because I know the owner of this homophobic chicken and he donates a lot of money to the school I used to teach at, and a ton of my students work there. So it's like a mixed bag, you know what I mean? Okay, I'm almost done, I promise, then we'll get started. Fuck, what was I gonna say? I don't remember. Okay. This game is a joke. I'm really sorry about that. Okay. do, do, do. Do, do, do. Do, do, do. Do, do, do. Notes and memes. Girl, I'm gay and I eat Chick-fil-A guilt-free twice a week. That made me feel a lot better, actually. I always feel terrible every time I eat Chick-fil-A. A homophobic chicken franchise in North Carolina asked for volunteers, saying they'd paid them in 5 chicken sandwiches an hour. I saw that, and I was like, surely that cannot be real. But I think, unfortunately, it is real. Okay, boom. Nearpod's done. There's the Nearpod link. I'm about to share my screen. It's gonna be great. How do I share my screen? Like that. Source. There. There we go. Money moves today. Okay. Boom. Told you I was on frickin' top of it right now. I'm gonna adjust my screen a little bit just to like make this bigger so that we can all see. Okay, great. Let's get started with talking about the Equal Rights Amendment. See, we're 12 minutes late getting started, but I was only a couple minutes late to actually joining the stream. Okay, let me catch up with the chat because I think we have some new friends here. I noticed, like, normally my TikToks where I talk about my stream don't do very well, but the one today, like, a lot of people were into it. So I think we might have some more friends than usual. So with those of you that are here every week, play nice. I appreciate you for being here for every week. If you're new here, welcome to my channel. Yeah, let's get into it. Let me catch up in the chat. Okay. I got my nails done and left the house for the first time since getting back on Friday. At first I wasn't into Thursdays. It actually made me so happy you were streaming tonight, so maybe I am down for Thursdays. I know, right? The only thing that sucked is because I had to go into the office today. I worked from home yesterday, and it's a lot easier because then I don't have my commuting time, so that's like extra time to work on this, and I could have done it yesterday in the afternoon, but I didn't. So today I was like really rushing to get this done. I fell asleep while cooking chicken tenders, and they're like rocks when I woke up and got them. That's a tough one. Work was somehow super good. I saw my coworker's baby. Love that. Shit health week. Need IV fluids for the first time in 3 weeks. For the third time in 3 weeks tomorrow. Ugh, rough. I've been really busy this week, but it feels not overwhelming. I was mad overwhelmed today. I was having a good week till today. Today was mad overwhelming. This is the highlight of my day. It's the highlight of my day, too. I'm stressed because I'm moving out of my apartment this weekend. Where are you moving? Are you moving to a different apartment? Homophobic chicken. Yes. Best marinade your chicken thighs in pickle juice. It tastes like just like Chick-fil-A, and it's even better, and there's no homophobia. Why did Twitch censor this message? Fuck Phyllis Schlafly. Sorry, I've been absent. All the homies hate Phyllis Schlafly. I'm at my desk and everything. I'm ready for class. Welcome, new homies. I'm here sometimes, excited to be here. Okay, welcome. My God, this has been like, I feel like so much has happened, and we've only been here for 8 minutes. So, what are we doing today? I'm moving back home for a few weeks before I start my next lease. Oh, got it. I'm a college student. Okay, so we're learning about Phyllis Schlafly and the Stop ERA movement. So, vibe check of how everyone's doing. How are we doing? How are we living? If you want to join the Nearpod, you can. I just wanted to give people a chance to share their memes. If anyone has any Phyllis Schlafly memes. I don't know if that exists. I made all the memes for this. But yeah, just a vibe check of how we are. Feeling ill because of this heat. I'm so fucking tired of the heat. I am literally so goddamn tired of the heat. I have acne, and I forgot to put lotion on my face. Oh, and I forgot to turn my light on. Okay, while you guys do this vibe check of how you're doing, I'm going to turn my light on. I'm here. You can hear me. I'm here. I'm literally not leaving, and I'm here. But I want to turn the light on because it's going to get dark, and then I'm going to be like, damn, I didn't turn the light on. And here we are. Now the light is on. Okay. I had sushi for dinner, so I'm living my best life. My car's AC doesn't work. A little headache, but really being brave about it. Good. I need more Phyllis memes. I hate that woman. Very sad about my chicken tenders. Yeah. Pouty Princess. Hi here. Use sulfur wash for acne. I don't like the way it smells. First time chat. Thank you for being here. Also, thank you everyone for following and subscribing. Kate Korn, not Katie. Ephemeralry, Pouty Princess, Mr. Zulu, Sandra Catherine, Saffir Barb, Shrek 2, Chelsea 312. Amazing. Happy because I work from home tomorrow. Nice. Really ready to learn more about Phyllis Schlafly whitewashing all over the place. Okay, so let's get into it and let's get started. So before we do anything, I want to explain how an amendment gets added to the Constitution, because we're talking about the Equal Rights Amendment, and like that's what the whole thing was, is about the Equal Rights Amendment getting added to the Constitution. So I kind of wish I could join the Nearpod, but I'm watching you while I make dinner. That's okay. It's not that interactive today because I was kind of rushed making it. But anyway, honestly, like, to call myself out, I'm not as educated on civics as I should be. Like, it's fucking confusing. Like, I honestly can't tell you anything off the top of my head. I don't have it memorized. When people are like, if you ask me right now, like, how does a bill become a law? Like, I would struggle to explain it to you. But when I read it, I understand it and I remember it, if that makes sense. It's just, like, hard to remember the nuances of it. So anyway, I just want to talk about how an amendment gets added to the Constitution, just because when we're going to be talking about all these things today, oh my God, I love how every civics teacher is ready to help. It's not that I don't understand it. I just have a terrible memory on okay, my memory only works with like stories, and because like history is stories, I can remember it, but because physics is rules, I can't remember it, but I understand it and I can like talk about it if I have like references, if that makes sense, just to like remind me that I'm just a bill. Yeah, exactly. Like I got that part. Every time I rewatch it or reread something, I'm like, oh, right, duh. You know, it is mad confusing. But anyway, I can explain it to you in stories. Quarter life crisis, this is why you're the W. I wanted to explain how an amendment gets added to the Constitution so that we can all understand. Because when we're talking about what are the drinks for tonight, no alcohol because I'm on my period and it always makes my cramps a lot worse. Also, this might be TMI, but started a new birth control yesterday. Haven't been on birth control in years. Really eager to see how it works. So we have Dr. Pepper. And then we have my water. I have my water bottle back. So my boyfriend had my water bottle because he had coronavirus and he had already been drinking out of it. So it was contaminated. So I was like, I thought you hated birth control. I do. But before my period, I was just getting really aggressively mentally ill and it was like starting to scare me. So I talked to my doctor about it and we're going to try this one. It's estrogen free. So we think it might work. But the second I feel bad, I'm going to stop taking it because I told her that. She was like, give it 3 months. And I was like, no. I was like, I'll give it till I feel bad. And so far, so good. It's only been a day. But anyway, my boyfriend had COVID. And so he had my water bottle. And obviously, I'm not going to take a water bottle from a coronavirus patient because, like, you need to stay hydrated. But now he's COVID negative. Birth control is a concept. Love that. Birth control in practice. Why'd they make it like this? Exactly. Because I hate when people are like, you're anti-birth control. And I'm like, not like that. But anyway, my boyfriend doesn't have COVID, so I have my water bottle back. And I got a new water bottle that's like a Yeti cup with a handle. Because this doesn't fit in my cup holder, so it's kind of annoying to take it on the go. But anyway, I wonder if he has my water bottle. I think he does have the new one. I got it delivered to his place. But anyway, let's talk about how an amendment gets added to the Constitution. So amendments can be proposed either by Congress or at the National Convention, which is called by Congress when requested by 2/3 of the state legislator. And then if the Congress way does it, it's by favorable vote of 2/3 of those voting in both houses. So it's basically like 2/3 of the fucking bitches have to be like, yeah, we want to add the amendment. That's how it gets started, is 2/3 of the bitches want to add the amendment. Once 2/3 of the bitches say yes, they have two different options. They can either do special state conventions in 3/4 of all the states, or the legislators of 3/4 of all the states can vote to ratify it. So it's like 2/3 of the bitches, then 3/4 of the bitches. So that's what I mean. Like, it's a lot to add an amendment to the Constitution. We hate the bitches overall, though. It's a lot to add an amendment to the Constitution. So it's like, it's not like you can just be doing this that easily or stopping this that easily. Unless you're Phyllis Schlafly. Then you can stop it pretty easily. So what are we doing today? We're learning about the Movement for Equal Rights Amendment and the Stop ERA movement. This seems like a lot of math. Exactly. That's why you lose me in civics. I'm like, why are we doing algebra? Stop it. Miss Redacted's job is literally killing her, so she made this very last minute. Former Harvard model Congress girlies know the struggle. So yeah, Miss Redacted's job is killing her. So she made this very last minute because everyone needed stuff today, and I had really bad brain fog today, which always freaking happens on my period. I'm just like stupid. Like I'm just like stupid and slow, and I can't do things. So yeah, everything was just like taking a while, and I'm annoyed because like I could have done better this morning. Like I could have really like knocked shit out early in the morning, and I didn't. I just kind of like fucked around. And then at like 1 p.m. I was like, wait, I want to cry. There's so much to do. And then I didn't have time to eat lunch, which is great. I love that for me. So yeah, Miss Redacted's job is killing her. So I made this last minute. But anyway, what is the ERA? The Equal Rights Amendment is designed to guarantee protection against sexual discrimination. So it got passed by Congress. So we already did step 1. It already got passed by Congress is where we are. I cannot get any real work done past 11 a.m. Me either, and that's the problem, is that's when everyone needs stuff. Like our busiest time is like noon. Our busiest time is like 3 to 6. And that's when I'm the most useless. It's really a terrible combination. If it could be busy at 7 a.m., I'll be doing so good. Sorry. Okay, so anyway, let's get back to Phyllis Schlafly. Or let's go back to the ERA, I should say. So in 1972, Congress was like, we're ready to pass the ERA, but it did not get ratified by the 38 states. We're going to talk about why that happened today. So the ERA says equality of rights under the law shall not be denied or abridged by the United States or by any state on account of sex. So it's literally just like equal rights under the law. So, where did the Equal Rights Amendment come from? It was first drafted in 1923 by Alice Paul and Crystal Eastman. They were in the suffragette movement. The suffragette movement was mad racist, just to like level set that we all know that. The suffragettes were mad racist. They did not want black women to have the right to vote. But I digress. For women's rights advocates, the ERA was the next logical step after the 19th Amendment. So once women got the right to vote, they were like, we should pass the Equal Rights Amendment. While the text of the amendment has changed over the years, the gist has remained the same. And then this is the same thing that I just read to you. So that's where the movement or the amendment came from. Since 1923, lawmakers have introduced the ERA in every single session of Congress, but it didn't really make any progress until the 1970s. Because of the suffragettes, black women didn't get the right to vote until after Jim Crow ended. Yeah, the suffragettes were basically mad that black men were voting in some places. The suffragettes were like, you're really going to let black men vote and you're really not going to let us vote? And so the suffragettes were just mad racist. And then they were like, oh, we should give white women the right to vote. Like, the whole thing was based in racism. It's not like, oh, they're fighting for women's rights and they're racist on the side. Like, they're fighting for women's rights because of and using racism. Very much not good. Very much not the vibe. Also, my mom has this story that our great-grandmother marched with Susan B. Anthony, and it's literally not true. Like, that did not happen. Like... It's literally just fake. And my mom loves to tell it. And I was like, stop fucking telling people that story. Because 1, it is not true, most importantly. And 2, Susan B. Anthony's fucking racist. So even if it was true, that's not something we should be like rah-rah about. And she gets so upset when I bring it up. And now she's like, you're right and I agree with you. But it's just a hard pill to swallow. I was like, yeah. In character for Mama Redacted. Why do moms make up the weirdest story? I know, it's literally that didn't happen. Like, and no one else in my family talks about that. Like, if you ask anyone else that was related to that person, they're like, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. So, like, she fully made it up. Respectfully, Mother Redacted, that's a weird lie to tell people. I've given this advice before, and I'm giving it to you all right now about me. When it comes to people's families, bitches be crazy. So, like, don't judge someone because their parents and their siblings are fucking crazy. Everybody. Sometimes your mom just girl bosses too hard and gets caught up in her own lies because she wants to exude girl boss Hillary Clinton energy. And sometimes she can't keep up with it. Sometimes she girl bosses too close to the sun. Does Mother Redacted watch these streams? No, but honestly, probably. Like, she probably is here. Like, she's probably here right now. I'm probably going to receive a phone call about this later. She's great. I love her. She's amazing. But she's insane. Like, it's fine. But she's crazy. I'm insane, so it's fine. I actually had that moment the other day. I was ripping stuff out of my closet like a crazy person. And I was like, oh my God, I am turning into my mother. Because she used to do that, and we'd all look at her and be like, that bitch is crazy. And I was doing it, and I was like, I feel bad. Okay, so anyway, basically nothing was happening with the Equal Rights Amendment between 1922 and 1970 because Congress was just men. There were 10 women, no more than 2 at the same time. So literally all the men in Congress with the ERA sitting on their desk. Like, it was a thing, but no one cared about it. You know what I'm saying? I think when people hear, like, oh, the Equal Rights Amendment was written in the 1920s, people think, like, people gave a shit. You know what I mean? When in reality, most of the government was like, okay, y'all have fun with your little poems or whatever. Like, no one cared, and no one was trying to pass it until the 1970s, even though it is old as fuck. So the reason people started to give a fuck in the 70s, it was a thing, but no one cared about it. Same, like, you guys know what I mean. When I say no one cared about it, like, I mean that in the general population. A lot of people cared, and a lot of activists worked really hard, but it was not a part of the national conversation. People were not, like, when women got the right to vote, it was, but then, like, throughout the, like, Great Depression and, like, World War I or World War II, like, people were not talking about that. They were, like, people are still working on that. So yeah, I don't mean no one cared in a mean way. I just mean no one cared in like a no one cared way. So the women's liberation movement in the 1960s, over a century after the fight to end slavery, fostered the first wave of the women's rights movement, which again, racism. They kind of, I don't like the way they phrased this. Fostered the wave. Yeah, it fostered the wave because of racism. It fostered the wave because they were like, they have rights? I should have more rights than them. Like, that's what it means, foster the wave. Not like, oh my God, I'm so inspired, let's work together. That was not how it was. But anyway, women organized to demand their birthright as citizens and persons with the Equal Rights Amendment rather than to vote became a central symbol of the struggle. So the women's liberation movement was mostly in like the 1960s and 70s, sought equal rights and opportunities and greater personal freedom. This is considered second wave feminism. So like first wave feminism was like the right to vote, and then like second wave feminism was like all of this stuff. Sorry, I just got an email from TikTok that had a really funny subject line. So second wave women's liberation, feminism, whatever you want to call it, was focused on a lot of different things like sexuality, politics, work, and the family. Like, it was a more broad-reaching movement about women's place in society and the way they're viewed in the home and in the like world and in the workforce, and it was just like a little more all-encompassing. The first indication of this like change was Betty Friedan's book called The Feminine Mystique. She spoke about like the suburban housewife. So the problem that lay buried and unspoken is that most of these women were bored and not very fulfilled. Like, they were smart women. A lot of them were college educated, and they were just like sitting at home and bored and just like not living up to their dreams, I guess you could say. So women who had been told that they had it all, nice houses, lovely children, responsible husbands, were deadened by domesticity, like being in the home, she said, and they were too socially conditioned to recognize their own desperation, and this was a bestseller. Like, the fact that they couldn't have bank accounts really baffles me. Yeah, women couldn't have credit cards. People loved this book. Oh my God, I forgot about my little stickers. People loved this book. Like, people really, really agreed with her. A lot of women were like, wow, I thought I was the only one that felt this way. Like, I have felt so alone. Like, honestly, how women still talk today, like how stay-at-home moms feel super isolated and super alone in their struggle and all of that. Like, this book really helped them because they were like, wow, I do want to do things, and I'm stuck at home with these fucking kids who like literally scream all the time. Like, actually back in the 70s, people would just like put their kids outside. But still, it seems like a pain in the ass. I'm here playing D&D, so I have to keep my sound muted. Have a good stream. Oh my God, Ryan the Butt, thank you. But honestly, I should not be allowed to have a credit card. My God. Low-key, Phyllis Schlafly confirmed that she was a smart bored woman who refused to sit in her place at home. Exactly. Like, the call is coming from inside the house, Phyllis. My grandma used to always tell a story how they had to show their marriage license when she and my grandpa got a hotel room in the 70s. I'm like, if I want to fuck somebody in the hotel, I'm gonna fuck somebody in the hotel. What is it to you, fucking front desk at the Holiday Inn Express? Like, goddamn. Okay. So, Friedan had struck a chord with these women. Initially, women energized by the book joined government leaders and union representatives who had been lobbying for equal pay and protection against unemployment discrimination. By June 1966, they had concluded that polite requests were insufficient. They would need their own national pressure group. They were like, we need like a women's version of the NAACP, so that's how they created NOW, which is National Organization for Women. Stop. I used to work at the Holiday Inn Express. I love a Holiday Inn Express. But anyway, the National Organization of Women, this is when it was created. The organization has gone through a lot of like ebbs and flows. It didn't do great at first, but then it started to get some members. Their main focuses were, sorry, let me actually read this list. Found 6 consensus measures essential to ensuring women's equality. So their focuses were banning employment discrimination, maternity leave rights, child care centers that would enable mothers to work, tax deduction for child care expenses, equal and unsegregated education, and equal job training opportunities for poor women. So they were really focused, as you can see, it's not just political rights, like it's like working rights, family rights, like societal structure to support women in the workforce. Like it's all of that was kind of what they were focused on. And also, I'm late to class and I forgot my headphones. It's okay, Methadone Daddy. We're just getting started. We're talking about like the formation of NOW and the women's movement and stuff. What was I saying? Oh, also, NOW and, like, Betty Friedan and Gloria Steinem, they're not perfect. There's definitely racism in them, but generally speaking, there were a lot of women of color in NOW, and they did have, like you see, unsegregated education. Like, Gloria Steinem did agree and focus that, like, black women needed to be in the movement, and that, like, equality for some was not going to fix the problem in the long run, and that, like, should be fought for now. Like, it was a lot more inclusive than the first wave feminism. Obviously wasn't perfect, and there was a lot of people that said not okay things, but you know what I'm saying. So here's a bunch of pictures from NOW also still exists today. Yeah, I was in NOW in college. Women's rights, but make it racist. I was in NOW in college. NOW does a lot of great work. So you can see here pictures from the movement, Women of the World Unite, Women Unite for Women's Liberation. You can see equal pay now is a big priority. Here's another picture in a group. Here's a picture in color. Women's liberation. ERA, yes. There's a Gloria Steinem. Here's her now. This is Angela Davis. Here is Betty Friedan. She's like one of the OGs of the movement. Here's Shirley Chisholm. She ran for president a lot of times. And then this is Audre Lorde. She was in this movement as well. I don't know a ton about her, though. I loved this picture, too, Maggie Baggy. Women are powerful and dangerous. I loved this picture. Shirley Chisholm is a queen. Yes, she has the quote where she's like, if there's no seat for you at the table, bring a folding chair. I love that quote. Love it. So, yeah, this is kind of the women's liberation movement. This is who was pushing this to get passed through Congress. Crazy to think this wasn't a thing from the get-go. Wow, I know, right? So basically NOW decided they were focused on the ERA, and their work and the work of these women did enable this to get the votes in Congress for it to be pushed along to the states. There was some controversy. NOW has, like I said, gone through a lot of internal struggles around every big organization like this. It's always the same struggle. It's always the more moderate people that are like, no, you can't be too extreme because we're going to lose support. And then the more extreme people who are like, no, you can't keep watering this down or else we're never going to be successful. It's like the age-old struggle, and NOW has really like suffered in that struggle from the jump. So the leaders who helped the ERA get past Congress, because NOW was solely focused on the ERA, owing the efforts to women such as Bella Abzug, Betty Friedan, Gloria Steinem, and the ERA passed in 1972. So it went to the states for ratification, and it had a 7-year deadline for the ratification process. Age-old collective action struggle where the larger group, the more the infighting. Exactly. That's why grassroots is best, because small is good and you can help the people around you and it's easier and more effective. So anyway, they basically passed it and then gave a 7-year deadline for the states to ratify it. Yeah. So, like the 19th Amendment before, once it got out of Congress, it got a lot of the ratifications in the first year. 22 of the 38 state ratifications came through. So, from the, once it got past Congress, it was not a partisan issue. Like, it had support from various presidents. I want to say Nixon supported it. It had Republican support. It had Democratic support. It was not something that, really had number one haters. Like, it wasn't super what's the word I'm looking for? It wasn't super polarizing. It wasn't super partisan by any means. And then the Stop ERA movement came to be. So Stop ERA was the name conservative Phyllis Schlafly campaign against the Equal Rights Amendment. She founded it after it passed Congress. Yeah, what a great situation for a Karen to come in and ruin. No, she's literally the ultimate Karen. So yeah, once this got through Congress, Phyllis Schlafly was like, no, I don't think it should be ratified. Nixon, Ford, Carter all supported ERA. Exactly. I live near where Phyllis Schlafly is from, and everyone here low-key resents her, LOL. It's me, Lloyd. That is a perfect first-time chat. The Stop ERA is an acronym that stands for Stop Taking Our Privileges. The campaign argued that women were already protected under laws of the time, and the making the ERA gender neutral would somehow deprave women of their special protections and privileges. Stop ERA's major supporters were already supporters of Phyllis Schlafly's conservative group, Eagle Forum, and came from the right-wing Republican Party. Christian conservatives also organized for Stop ERA and used their churches to provide strategic meeting points. I'm actually reading a book right now about collective action, and it talks about how church is one of the best places to do collective action, which is true. Where was I? Yeah, so they used their churches. Those Stop ERA included people from an existing group. Schlafly led the effort and handpicked state directors to steer the campaign as well. And the state organizations raised funds and decided on a strategy for the initiative. I know it's ERA, but every time I read it, it's just screaming ERA instead. That's funny. Oh, fuck, I meant to change that, sorry. So, who is Phyllis Schlafly? Who the fuck is this bitch? Where did she come from? We're going to backtrack a little bit, and now we're going to talk about her life. Now that you know what she did, we're going to talk about her life, and then we'll talk about how she did this. You should put together a summer reading list. I can't read. So, that book that I'm reading, I've read 5 pages, and it's taken weeks. Wow, surprised Schlafly didn't choke on these boots while licking them. What a piece of shit. Oh my god. Yeah, so I'm not a reader. That book has taken me weeks, and yeah, Phyllis Schlafly. Why was she like that? Okay, so she was born in St. Louis and raised during the Great Depression when her mother had to support the family because her father couldn't find work. So I guess this is where her whole shtick comes from. I guess her villain origin story, her trauma, is that her mom had to have a job. I literally think that's where all of this comes from. It's weird to see a bad idea promoted by such effective organizers. Oh, it was mommy issues. Yeah, I think it was because her mom didn't have a job, or her mom had to have a job. When you say one thing but mean your mother. Her mom had to have a job, and Phyllis Schlafly was like, my mom shouldn't have had to have a job. This is terrible. And so, I think her whole Stop ERA thing was just, her projecting, her mommy issues around working onto all of us. She's the opposite of Elizabeth Warren. My boyfriend's favorite beer company is called Schlafly, and it's based in St. Louis. I think that's her grandson. Hi, first time chat. NATO 2115. So yeah, anyway. You ever not get enough attention as a child and make it everyone's problem? So yeah, Phyllis Schlafly has mommy issues, I guess. She was a very hardworking student. She graduated from Washington University in St. Louis in 1944, working at a World War II ammunition factory. I can't tell, what this little thingy in the chat is. She worked at a World War II ammunition factory, and she received a master's in government from Radcliffe College, which was a sister school of Harvard University. Schlafly had a good pumpkin bear. She later received a law degree from Washington University, which we're going to talk about. So she is very well educated. She is not stupid. She knows how the government works. She knows how the law works. So when she was saying things that were not true, she knew what she was doing. Like, it was not out of ignorance. It was not an ignorance is bliss situation. It was I'm going to say a wrong thing on purpose because it'll work. The devil works hard, but his sister Phyllis worked harder, literally. Okay, so after the war, Stewart, because that's her maiden name, girl, how did you have this many degrees and fight against women's equality and education? Yeah, literally, the cognitive dissonance. But anyway, she worked for a year at American Enterprise Institute, a conservative pro-business organization in Washington, D.C., and then left to become involved in a political campaign and eventually ran for Congress herself twice and lost as a Republican candidate in a Democratic district, which, like, what the fuck do you think was going to happen? But in 1949, she married Fred Schlafly, who was an attorney for the Olin Corporation, and became active in Republican Party politics, was a delegate for every GOP convention from 1952 to 2016, and she had 6 children and attended law school. She was a strong Roman Catholic and anti-communist, and she founded an organization to educate Americans about the communist threat to religion. Sometimes lying is fun. Not this time though, Phyllis. So Phyllis Schlafly, that's kind of her origin story. Why is it always the Catholics? Here's some of her family pics. She had 6 kids. On the top left are her 6 kids. This is her with her grandkids. This is her with 4 of her kids, like, to 2016. Oh, yeah. This bitch endorsed Donald Trump fully. That's our last slide. The Red Scare again. Yeah, she was, like, very much anti-communist. I'd be better if I had 6 kids, too. It's the Catholics, no birth control, especially back then. My head is so itchy. I need to wash my hair so bad. Ugh. Okay. Ew. So here's all of her children or whatever. So more on Schlafly. So let's talk about her career, because this bitch is not a stay-at-home mom. She is a career woman. So she gained national attention when she published a book called A Choice, Not an Echo, which attacked East Coast leaders in the Republican Party and supported the campaign of Barry Goldwater, and when many leaders did not. It was only 120 pages, and she distributed it with her own publishing house and sold more than 3 million copies. This made her super famous within the conservative movement, and she used the royalties from her book to fund her children's college education. Talk about girl boss gatekeep. Exactly. Like, if she just had different opinions, I would stan her. Like, if she didn't fought for what she fought for and had fought for, like, pretty much anything else, I would be like, wow, this is a very impressive woman, because, like, law degree, 6 kids, wrote this successful book. Like, damn, bitch. Why do you have to be terrible? You could have been such an inspiration. But anyway, she now had a platform for her views and published a monthly 4-page pamphlet known as the Phyllis Schlafly Report, so distributing it to thousands of subscribers, many of the women she had cultivated in her role as the member and later vice president of the National Federation of Republican Women. So she very much has a network, is very much like a leader, is very much a girl boss. Okay, I too am tired of having to girl boss, but I'm not going to take everyone's rights about it. She almost hit the mark. It's like, just flipped the wrong switch in there somewhere, you know? Her main interest as a writer and an analyst were defense policy and nuclear weapons. She was much more into international politics than domestic. She really did not give a fuck about anything, like, with women's rights. She really didn't care. It was not interesting to her. She was really on her way to being so well respected, but just had to go and be nasty. Well, I'm going to tell you, it's more villain origin story. So she really cared about, like, nuclear shit and, like, the Cold War and whatever. She was very critical of Richard Nixon's policy of détente, which was supposed to lessen the tensions between the U.S. and the Soviet Union, and she really did not like that we opened relations with China. She thought communists could not be trusted to abide by agreements being reached on nuclear weapons and improved relations. She was really worried about our missile inferiority. Phyllis be like, who cares about feminism when there's national security? And if she had kept that stance, I could have still rocked with her. I could have been like, you know what? She hates communism, disagree with her there, but, like, at least she's fighting for something, you know? But no, you had to go take away people's rights. She kept a bomb shelter in her home. This is from an interview with her. I need more lemon in my water. She kept a bomb shelter in her home. She maintains a partial bomb shelter stocked with food for a month, but you'll only need it for 2 weeks. That's the time it takes to get rid of the fallout. She is a doomsday prepper. Phyllis Schlafly is a doomsday prepper. Just Cold War shit. Yeah, literally, it's wild. Yeah, because being profit motivated isn't trustworthy. This keeps getting wilder. I have not even gotten to, we have scratched the surface of crazy. She would have a bomb shelter. Thank you, Purple Cat 2718. She would. Someone called Zillow gone wild. The Phyllis Schlafly bomb shelter. This week on House Hunters, we're touring the Phyllis Schlafly bomb shelter. Phyllis would have been a QAnon crony in the year of our Lord 2022. So yeah, she had a bomb shelter. She really was talking about communism. None of her WASP but make it red scare. None of the stuff that's early in her career, she gives a fuck about women's rights. She does not care about the feminist movement. She does not care about women staying at home. She does not care about any of that shit. It is not her vibe. It is not her priority. She does not fucking care. She cares about communism. She cares about nuclear weapons. And she cares about national security. Wait, what was the bomb shelter's name in season 4 of Stranger Things? I don't know. Would Schlafly have been an extreme couponer? No, because she was rich. She did endorse Trump. I'll show you. It's the last slide. Way to spoil it. She ran for Congress twice. I had to dig for this picture. Phyllis Schlafly's PR works hard. I had to dig for this. Because if you look up Phyllis Schlafly Congress, all that comes up is her speaking in Congress about how we shouldn't have the ERA. I had to dig for this photograph. Here is her running for Congress. She lost twice. Not by a little bit. She lost by a lot. She ran twice. Once in 1952. And then again in a different district in 1970. 2 years before she started caring about the ERA. It's almost like we needed a new adventure. We needed a new topic. Because we were bored in the home. God, 1 ounce of self-awareness. When you run for Congress twice and fail, so you start saying your political career is a hobby and you are actually a stay-at-home mom. Not very girl boss of her to lose twice. Women don't deserve rights because she couldn't win a congressional seat. I just took your class photo. I liked the chat. This is a good meme, though. My entire internet just took a shit. What did you say? Did you say why she thought this way yet? Not yet, because we haven't really gotten to it yet. So all we've done is, at this point, she's run for Congress. She's run for Congress and failed twice, and then she's kind of like, I'm a stay-at-home mom. Politics is my hobby, giving Hillary Clinton vibes. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. But anyway, she's like, politics is my hobby, and I love my children, and I love being at home with my children, and I didn't even want to win, and I literally don't care. It was a joke. That's kind of her energy. Oh, you got Taco Bell on DoorDash? I love Taco Bell. So when and why did she pick up the ERA? She did not care about this. It was not an issue that interested her, and then it was not an issue that interested her throughout the 1960s. Insert second congressional loss in 1970, and then in 1972, she published this speech thing that was what's wrong with equal rights for women, in her little Schlafly report in her little fucking magazine thing she had, and that is where she started hating on the ERA. So I personally think it was because her political career, is this where I have it? Yeah. So, Schlafly picking up the ERA as her number one cause when she realized men would never take her seriously on foreign affairs issues that she actually cared about. Because I think, she had flopped doing what she cared about because, like, politics is a man's game and these men weren't taking her seriously. Like, she would do interviews and try and talk about, like, nuclear weapons and stuff like that, and the interviewers would be like, so how do you balance working kids and doing work? And she would be like, can we fucking talk about nuclear weapons? So she flopped and made it everyone's problem. So I kind of think she was like, fuck you. You want me to be a women's political person? I'm going to be a women's political person. And that's just what's happening now. So it kind of like her villain origin story was like sexism killing her career, in my opinion. I want my hat, actually. Yeah, this is good. I don't want the thing on me, though. Feminism really would have solved her problems, but she went, no, I'm actually going to be worse. Yeah, exactly. So she was like, fuck you. If I lost my congressional campaign, no one can have rights. So she switched up and stopped talking about nuclear war and communism and started talking about the ERA. Her argument is that women's rights were already protected under the Constitution and that the ERA would undermine the family. She said the basic unit of society, which is ingrained in the laws and customs of our Judeo-Christian civilization, the modern American woman would lose the protection of her father and husband and the Christian tradition of chivalry, which supported the family and shielded women in the case of divorce or separation. One big thing that she pushed is she was like, how if you get divorced, like the husband has to pay alimony, child support. She was like, if the ERA passes, it won't be that way anymore. Like, she would say stuff like that was not true, just to like scare women into like taking her side, even though that stuff wasn't true. Her essay led directly to the formation of the movement of Christian evangelicals, Mormons, Catholics, and other traditional groups to fight against the ERA. Oh, this is probably the worst thing I've heard all week. Wow, she'd say that. Family law is hella sexist. Yeah, so... So her organization, Stop Taking Our Privileges ERA, was led by Schlafly, and the supporters were often white, middle-class, secular, well-educated. They tended to be single or if married in one of the professions. They were also divided among any... They were also divided among many feminist organizations, such as Now. Stop ERA members were married women with children, religious, middle class, and older, and they saw links between attacks on religion in the courts and the feminist movement as threats to motherhood. No offense, fuck chivalry. Exactly. So it was kind of like the women's movement versus the Stop ERA movement. It's like a lot of single professional women versus a lot of like married at home women who feel that like these laws getting passed are an attack on them, because as there's starting to be more protection for women in the workplace, a lot of these women are like, well, I don't want to work. I want to be a stay-at-home mom, which like no one said you couldn't do that. Like literally no one even asked. But yeah, so that was kind of where the beef started coming from. Schlafly linked the ERA in the fight against abortion and drew support from that as well. So Phyllis Schlafly basically just like pinned a bunch of issues onto the ERA that have nothing to do with the ERA. So she was like, the ERA supporters want abortion everywhere. And everyone was like, it doesn't say anything about that. And she was like, ERA supporters want to give, she would always say like, homosexuals the same dignity as man and wife in marriage. And like, they should have that. But at the time, no one, like, that's not in the ERA. Even though, like, I think that's true, at the time, feminist leaders were like, we're not saying that. Like, this is the ERA. That's not what it was about. And she kept just, like, tacking on other issues that she knew were, like, triggers for people and that she knew would, like, get people riled up and be like, well, I don't want that. Like she would say women are going to enter the draft and like your children will be required to go to government run childcare, which like they wanted universal childcare, but you don't have to send the kid. Like it's just there if you want it. So it was a lot of misinformation. And she said American women are the most fortunate class of people who have ever walked on the face of the earth. Because she was basically saying, like, we have the protection of the law and the protection of husbands. And this is trying to take away the protection of our husbands by making the law gender neutral. So, like, laws protecting women and, like, laws, like, you're not allowed to hit women. She'd be like, that law wouldn't exist. You couldn't have laws against hitting women, which, like, that's not what the ERA says. It's weird that almost, like, choice is a big part of this. Like, we just want to be allowed to work and protections at work, but if you want to stay home with your kids, more power to you. The protection of husbands. Wasn't domestic violence incredibly common? Yes, I am's pet food. It was and is. But yeah, she was basically saying, like, women, we have it all. If you want to get a job, you can, but you don't have to because your husband's obligated to take care of you. Because some states have, like, or had, I don't know if anyone still has this, like, laws that require a husband to provide for the wife. And she was like, that law's going to go away. Your husband can just kick you out and take your kids, and there's nothing you can do about it. Like, that's what she was saying. Exactly. Assault charges are gender neutral. Exactly. That was the whole thing. So what were, like, her kind of reasons to stop the ERA? It's funny because those laws still exist. Of course they do. So she traveled across the U.S. throughout the 1970s, calling for opposition to the Equal Rights Amendment because she had said it would lead to a reversal in gender roles, same-sex marriage, women in combat, which would weaken the military strength. Opponents of the amendment also speculated it would result in taxpayer-funded abortions, unisex bathrooms, and remove laws that depend on gender to define a sex crime. So all this stuff that's, like, literally not true. Perhaps most of all, Phyllis Schlafly feared the ERA would hurt families and eliminate Social Security benefits for widows and homemakers. Although she'd earned a salary, Schlafly did not believe women should be paid in the workforce, especially if they had young children. If women were to stay at home and raise families, earning no benefits of their own, Social Security was a necessity. It's funny how same-sex marriage and women in combat happened anyway. LOL, joke's on you. Another concern is that the ERA would abolish a husband's legal responsibility to support wife and family and would alter child support and alimony to make them gender neutral. Overall, conservatives worried the amendment would undermine the authority of men over women, which they saw as the proper power relationship for well-functioning families. I'm like, most embarrassing thing about me, if you guys ever say that I admitted this, I will deny it, but, like, I'm very much traditionalist when it comes to, like, interpersonal relationships. Like, that's the man of the house. I don't fucking know. Ask him. I love that I get to choose that. And I power to you if you don't choose that. But he's in charge. I can't do this. He's in charge, but in actuality, I'm in charge. You know what I mean? Like, he's in charge, but I'm like, pss, 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 pss. Okay, but anyway, back to Phyllis Schlafly. Me to stop talking about my men issues. Many of these claims of the ERA were disputed by legal scholars, yet the Stop ERA campaigns continue to generate news about whenever the ERA is reintroduced into national or state legislative sessions. I am actively choosing to never mow the lawn. That is a man's job, not mine. He takes the phone call, but I'm going to tell him what to say. The logic of women with children not needing to be paid in the workforce makes no sense. No, she's saying women with young children shouldn't be in the workforce. That's what she means. Like, they shouldn't be doing work for pay. They should be getting Social Security is her thing. She's not saying they should work for free. She's saying they shouldn't work at all. Which, like, honestly, if I had a baby, I'd be like, I'm going to work. Like, you're kind of overwhelming. I'm going to go somewhere. Like, I'm going to go sit at my desk and, like, answer some emails, eat a little snack, and just kind of chill out. You know what I mean? But yeah, so this is what they were saying about the ERA. And this, like, so the stuff that she brought up about, like, abortion and, like, LGBT people and, like, gay marriage, all of those things, like, all that stuff that she brought up, those were not Republican issues. Like, it was not the way it is today where the Republicans hate all of that. Republicans didn't really have a stance on that and didn't talk about it until Phyllis Schlafly brought it into the conversation and turned the ERA into a partisan issue. So much of the partisanship that we live in today can be attributed back to Phyllis Schlafly because she, like, brought everything into this conversation. Isn't that a form of socialism in a way, though? Yeah, it is. Which, like, always maintains, like, okay, so one time when I was in college, I was like, or not when I was in college, right after college, I went to get coffee with my professor, which looking back was a date, and I just didn't know it. But anyway, I was talking to him about how much I hate my cousins, because he was my sociology of race professor. We need to fight Phyllis Schlafly at the same time as Ronald Reagan. So anyway, my sociology of race professor, I was venting him about how much I hate that, like, the hypocriticalness with my cousins, which, like, probably shouldn't be saying that on the internet. Sorry, family. But anyway, like, I was just talking about, like, how are people so against social support when they use social support, like social services type stuff. And he was like, I was just ranting. I was like, I don't understand it. I don't understand how you could be that blind and have that much cognitive dissonance. And I was just like venting and ranting to him about how much like it bothered me. And I didn't understand how so many people had this viewpoint. And he was like, shut up, shut your mouth. He was like, they don't care when white people do it. He was like, all the people that are against communism, socialism, the benefits, they don't think it's communism or socialism when it's white people doing it. And it's their friends doing it. He was like, they don't care. They will never see. He was like, stop stressing yourself out because they're never going to get it. And they will never click for them because it will always be different in their mind when they do it. It's always different to them. And he was like, I don't know how to rationalize it to you, but that's how they think. Looking back, it was late, but I just didn't know it. Ma'am, if y'all knew the trauma I've lived through with men, like, it is unspeakable. I love how you pronounce Schlafly differently almost every time. That's my strategy with names, is if I pronounce it differently every time, I'm bound to get it right at least once. And then you'd be like, hey, that's right. Literally, or like the 40-hour work week, paper money, minimum wage. Dang, I wish I recorded that quote because that's true AF. They always think it's different when it's them. Okay, so let's get back to Phyllis Schlafly and the ERA. This is a good meme. I thought about this for the class meme as well. Phyllis Schlafly spreading misinformation about the ERA on purpose. She fucking knew. This bitch knew. She went to law school. She knew. Like, how do you have a law degree and you were that misinformed? I'm not buying it. I am not buying it. So, basically, when she was talking all this nonsense, feminist leaders reached out to her, like Betty Friedan, Gloria Steinem, like, they literally were like, hey, queen girl, that's not true, like, you're freaking people out. The Real Housewives featuring prominent memes tonight. She knew what she was doing. Hate is a strong word, but I've never heard of her before today, and I hate her. They just give out law degrees. You would be surprised. So yeah, all these feminist leaders are calling her and they're like, hey queen, that's not true. Like, you're scaring people, and I get maybe you were misinformed, but like, here's the lowdown. Like, people thought at first she was just misinformed. And this is what I'm saying, like, Republicans are playing chess and Democrats are playing Connect 4. Like, Republicans have this bitch fucking grassroots organizing, and the Democrats are calling her like, hey, just wanted to have a quick chat with you. Like, no. No. Thank goodness she didn't have Twitter. What's it called when people will just tag on legislation on a bill that they want passed just because it has nothing to do with the actual bill? Quarter life crisis. We have a civics question. I know what you're talking about, but I can't remember what it's called either. Ew, I just found a piece of my nail. Anyway, so Schlafly started to get all of these volunteers. So she has her little letter writing thing, and she starts to get all of these sneaky. She starts to get all these volunteers to do letter writing campaigns and protest and phone calls and all of this thing. Oh my God, Democrats are showing up with a paperclip to a gunfight. Should I always get them confused? Okay, so these are things that she trained her volunteers on. She brought in hundreds of volunteers from various different conservative faiths, and she taught them how to, like, form an argument and made them do rehearsals all day on Saturday. So, like, she would teach them how to debate. A writer. Thank you. She would teach them how to debate and, like, run drills with them, essentially, like fucking mock trial. You had to be able to give your little spiel in 3 minutes, and she would critique you, because she would send her volunteers to legislative offices and, like, they'd be like, I'm a woman in the community and I want to talk to my representative. And then they would like have to give their spiel about like why the ERA is terrible and going to hurt them. So she like nailed their talking points down. She was not fucking around. They had a routine. She would tweak their arguments. They had their little weekend rehearsals. She told them how to dress, including what earrings to wear. They had to have their hair done. They had to look super feminine. They wore a lot of florals, a lot of pink, a lot of color, like no pants, dresses only. She coached them on how to hold their Bibles, because she would say, you should bring the Bible in with you. I wish I had a book. She would say, like, you're going to bring the Bible in with you, but you can't be holding it up and waving it around and thumping it, because they were like, you're not a Bible thumper. That makes you look crazy. So you just had to hold the Bible with you in your arm calmly and not really talk about it, but show that you had it. Like, this was so calculated. This is giving MLM meeting vibes. This is giving me big cheer mom vibes. Yes, it really is. And she trained them to keep a smile on your face no matter what. Like, this water is so good. Protesters, people talking shit, whatever. Let me see them teeth. Smile, baby. Like, she's a Toddlers and Tiara's mom for this movement. Like, dead ass. Dead ass. She had so many skills and used all of them to make shit worse. Pageant mom. Phyllis Schlafly is the pageant mom. Oh my god, we're like already almost done. Oh my goodness. This is going to be a quicker stream than I anticipated. So, Phyllis Schlafly in the church on Saturday training the volunteers on how to walk and dress. Phyllis Schlafly would have started LuLaRoe. I think my grandma was influenced by her because she tried to teach me the same things. Phyllis Schlafly's influence knows no bounds. I am really proud of this meme, you guys. I need everyone to acknowledge this meme because it took me forever to find the perfect gif for this. I like wrapped my brain and I was like, what do I want in here? And this, I nailed it. I nailed it, honestly. Good meme. Thank you, Drama Queen. Thank you. I appreciate that. Love the Dance Moms meme. I need to rewatch Dance Moms. I don't think my boyfriend's going to be into that, but whatever. So this is the part that's most interesting to me. Her strategy was baking. Phyllis walked so Abby Lee could run. That Abby Lee is in a wheelchair, and I don't know if you knew that when you typed that out, but if you did and you were joking, that is very funny. It's very wrong, but it's very funny. Republican older white women are low-key like cattle. They'll hear something and just run with it, no backing. Yeah, for fucking real. So perhaps the Schlafly strategy that is hated the most by her opponents is her advocacy of femininity tactics. I didn't. Yeah, she's in a wheelchair. Her femininity tactics, which is the long dresses, and she would have her supporters bring homemade bread, apple pie, and jam to legislators, and they would write little handwritten notes about, like, stop the ERA, I made you this pie. Like, this bitch knew what the fuck she was doing. She knew what she was doing. You cannot say she's stupid. Exactly. If I had to choose between politicians being bought off with baked goods versus corporate money, sounds like bribing an elected government official to me. But yeah, she said it's our best tactic. To the breadwinners from the bread makers. They would literally carry signs that say, to the breadwinners from the bread makers, preserve us from a congressional jam, vote against the ERA sham. And she would send 30 to 50 people a day to key legislators' offices. This bitch was not stupid. She knew which states she had the best chances of taking the W in. She vetted all the leaders. She knew who was who. She knew who their friends were. She knew what they thought. She knew what they said behind closed doors. She said, all right, this I have my list of names. This is who I'm going to turn. This is who either I can get to vote no on the ERA and get them to change their mind, or someone who hasn't thought about it yet that I can convince them. Have y'all seen the movie Dick with Kirsten Dunst and the Brownies? No, I haven't. What's it about? Listen, for pie, I'll listen to some wacky shit. She's literally so smart that it physically hurt. I know, right? This is the most effective political organizing I've ever seen. I'm gonna hit her with a baguette. But yeah, so Phyllis Schlafly is like super organized. She knows which of the offices. They have letter writing campaigns. Like, she knew what the fuck she was doing. Men being convinced to hate the ERA just because women brought pies. So all these all these state legislators were like, oh, I had no idea, ma'am. I will vote no on the ERA. Like, it was so easy. She's literally brilliant. I hate her so much. I know, right? To be honest, I could be heavily influenced by an apple pie. The politicians all had mommy issues in the 1970s, and now we don't have rights. And the men say, I'm doing what the women want. Exactly. Because the men were like, oh, I thought the women wanted the... Like, I literally think a lot of them were confused. Because there's a lot of men in government, and women, honestly, a lot of men in government are stupid, uninformed, and don't know about the laws that they are writing and working on. So a lot of the men were like, oh, I thought the women loved the ERA, but now there's 30 damn near women a day coming to my office with pies begging me to vote no, so I guess I'm going to vote no. Like, again, love the accent. This is my regular voice. So again, like, the Republicans are playing chess. Phyllis Schlafly is doing Inception on the state legislators. Phyllis Schlafly literally inceptioned these men into voting against the ERA and made them think it was their idea. While the Democrats are like, oh my God, what's going on? Like, I don't know what they were doing. It doesn't take brains to get into politics, just charisma, money, and a lack of morals. I'm terrified. So these are quotes from an interview with her in 1975. This is like right in the middle of all this shit going down, and I just thought that this little blurb from this interview was interesting. It was really long, but this is just pieces of it. So Miss Schlafly is head of Stop ERA, a nationwide opposition to the Equal Rights Amendment, which she says she runs out of the kitchen of her 6-room English tutor home overlooking the Mississippi River. She did not run this out of her kitchen. They had offices. They fully had offices and used churches, but anyway. In between her numerous speaking forays all across the country, she is a law student where she ranks 4th in her class. She knows what the ERA is. She knows what she's saying is a lie. She knows all this stuff she's saying about gay marriage and alimony and domestic violence. She knows all of that is wrong. She knows it's not true. She is not stupid. Pain, physical pain. Yes, thank you, I'm pet food. She said, I went to law school at the age of 50 because I thought it might give me some useful information. I've debated all the lawyers and they've had on the other side, and I felt I've got the better of all of them. As a matter of fact, that's what encouraged me to go to law school. She was a very good debater. Like, bitch is not stupid. I'll say it again. Miss Schlafly, an immaculately groomed woman with streaked blonde, upswept curls who stands 5 feet 7 inches and weighs 135 pounds. Just for reference, like, y'all about to get up close and personal with me right now? Okay. This is what my body looks like. I am 5'1" and I weigh 145 pounds. All these women during this time were on fucking speed. Like, they didn't eat, and they literally just took stimulants all the time to, like, take care of their gazillion children and keep their houses fucking clean. Like, 5'7" and 135 pounds, you could just... And she'd fall right over. Like, skinny legend Phyllis Schlafly. Is she okay? Is she malnourished? And she says, the same I weighed as before my 6 children were born. Which, like, shut up. Shut the fuck up. Shut up. I've never had a baby, and I fucking hate when women are like, I weigh the same as I did before my baby was born. 'Cause shut up. Like, who cares? Who cares? I don't care that you weigh the same as before your baby was born. I really don't, Phyllis. I forgot about the speed. I was sitting here wondering how I'd be as tiny as Phyllis, but yeah, it's the speed. It's so sad. My mom doesn't eat anything because of the lasting diet culture effects. You know that meme where it's like your mom being full after a handful of almonds? That's literally all of our mothers. They're like, you're hungry? I had an apple 6 hours ago. I'm stuffed. I'm not hungry at all. I had my apple. So yeah, these are just quotes from this interview that I thought were interesting. I loved this meme as well. Phyllis Schlafly fighting for women to stay in the home while having a wildly successful political career. I may that weigh that much, but I'm like right out of the womb. Exactly, you haven't had 6 children. I think we'd be hard pressed to find another woman with 6 kids who weighs 135 pounds. Because, like, are you okay? There's no way that you're eating enough. Like, I'm sorry. A single piece of kale for dinner. Like, not to skinny shame, but, like, I'm worried about your health. So yeah, Phyllis Schlafly basically just, like, said women should stay in the home while being one of the most successful political organizers ever. So her organizing efforts did take the W. She took a lead in challenging feminists in these key states, and 5 states proved crucial battlegrounds: Florida, Missouri, Illinois, Oklahoma, and North Carolina. And in each state, the Stop ERA forces prevailed. No speed plus no HFCS. What's that? HFCS. So yeah, Phyllis Schlafly was successful. They did not get the states to ratify it. And the timer ran out. They actually extended it because they didn't have all the states, and then they extended it and were like, we'll give you a couple more years to get more states, and Phyllis Schlafly still came out on top. There's a really good show on Hulu about this called Miss America that goes into more detail about that part. I also made this today. Made this on Canva. Pretty proud of it. Oh, high fructose corn syrup. Thank you. Oh, I keep burping. I love high fructose corn syrup, personally. Fucking Missouri always being embarrassing. It's by FX. Oh, thank you. Oh, I love this one. Thank you. Gaslight, gatekeep, girl boss. Like, this meme gets me more. No one really acknowledged this meme, and I need us to not talk about the meme, but just talk about this topic more. The fact that she is like, her whole fucking thing is women being in the home, and she's a wildly successful author. She's a wildly successful, like, political strategist. She's on TV all the time. She has this pamphlet newsletter that she has. She trains all these women. Like, and she would go on the news, and people would ask this. Like, this is not an original thought. Like, I'm not the first person to bring this up. But she would literally go on the news, and people would be like, so, you say women should be on the home, yet here you are on the news. And she'd be like, I am a stay-at-home mom. I leave the house one day a week and come do my little TV shows, which was a lie. That was a lie. It was not one day a week. It was fucking 25/8. She also had childcare. She also had, full-time childcare for her 6 children and her rich old husband. So, do as I say, not as I do, the Republican motto. So, I called my mom today because I was on my way home from work, and I was like, damn, I'm really unprepared for tonight's stream. And I was like, my mom knows a lot about this topic. I should talk to her about it on my way home to give myself ideas while I finish the slides. And so I call my mom, and I'm like, hey, I know you really liked that show, Miss America. Like, I'm doing a stream about it tonight. Like, I just want to talk to you about this. And she's like, oh, I interviewed Phyllis Schlafly a while ago. Not her scamming and lying. Exactly, Richard, not her scamming and lying. So a couple years ago, well, more than that, 15 years ago, apparently my mom fucking interviewed Phyllis Schlafly. So I just talked to my mom about this interview that she did with her, and apparently my mom, hated her. Fucking typical. So, of course, Mother Redacted a whole interview. How did she happen to interview? So this is my mom's number one toxic trait, is that if you are doing something, she has outdone you on it. Guaranteed. So, my boyfriend works in finance, and we were at my mom's house, and my mom is asking him about his job and whatever, and he's like, oh, I work at XYZ company, and my mom was like, oh, I actually did work for them years ago. And apparently my mom coached one of the executives on employee retention and helped him create this program that then my boyfriend was a recipient of that when he got hired forever ago. No matter what it is, she has worked there. She knows someone. Your mom on everything. Oh, that's cute. When I tell y'all my mom is Kris Jenner, I'm not joking. On everything. Mama Redacted has girl lost all over the place. I'm frightened. Is Mother Redacted the good version of Phyllis? She's like chaotic good. Like, she's not great, but she's there. It is nice though, because like if you ever want to do something, like I'll be like, I think I want to learn more about the financial technology industry. I can call her and she knows someone who will fucking be happy to talk to me. And like literally that's true for anything. But I was using her to get a job through nepotism. When I was trying to leave teaching, I was like, hey, girlie, I need you to find me a job through connections because this is not working for me. And she fucking flaked on me. Like, she couldn't find me one. I was like, this is the whole point. This is the whole point. The whole point. The whole point is for your connections to get me a job. And it never came through. And I got my job by applying on LinkedIn. I was like, okay, damn. Like, I thought you were going to make this really easy, and it was only medium easy. Why are you girl bossing if you can't be a Nepo baby? Exactly. I was like, what was the whole point of your entire career if it wasn't for this? Ugh. But anyway, my mom interviewed Phyllis Schlafly, and it was for a women's magazine in the early 2000s, so before my mom was like a corporate girl boss, she was a writer. Like, she has a journalism degree. So she was writing for a women's magazine. And they were like, hey, you're going to interview Phyllis Schlafly. And she was like, okay. So that's why she did. She did get you a free Christian. She yelled at me today. She was like, have you done your Kris Jenner class? And I was like, no, I'm fucking busy. Like, but anyway, Phyllis Schlafly made my mom call her Mrs. Schlafly. Like, apparently, the Mama Redacted Laura smile. Like, apparently my mom was like, hi, Phyllis. And this bitch literally goes, it's a Mrs. Schlafly. And my mom was, like, not a teenager. She was, like, an adult woman at this time. Was it one of those women's magazines promoting diet culture to children? They wanted to be the skinny queen. No, it was about women in business. I can't remember. She told me the magazine's thing and told me not to say it, but it's like a women in business and like politics one that she did. And they would just have articles about like prominent women. It was not like a major magazine. It was not like In Touch or People or any. It was like a niche local magazine, I think. But yeah, no, it was not for the Queen Phyllis Schlafly diet pills. So apparently my mother was like, she basically just like redid the interview with me, and apparently she asked her, she was like, so you have talked so much about like women being inside the home and how that's really important to you, and that seems to have a disconnect to your high profile political career. Can you talk a little bit about that? And apparently this bitch looks my mom in the face and says, I don't know what you're talking about. Yes, you do. You literally do. You literally do. And so my mom like pushed a little bit and was like, you know, like you said, women shouldn't be working outside the home when they have kids of this age. But when your son was this age, like you were on TV doing these things. I'm just wondering like how you feel about that. And was like pressing her. And then Phyllis Schlafly said, there's no disconnect there. I'm just there speaking my mind. It's the gaslight versus the final girl boss. Oh my God. So Phyllis said, I didn't have a political career. I don't know what you're talking about. I just went out there and was speaking my mind. It was like my freedom of speech. And my mom was talking about this, and my mom said she just like kind of tried to carry on the interview and like be professional or whatever. But my mom said to me, she goes, I just about fucking lost it. And I wanted to say, God damn it, Phyllis, if you had your way, you wouldn't even be allowed to speak on television. What does Phyllis think a political career is? Exactly. If that's not a political career, then what is a political career, ma'am? Like, I'm really confused as to what you think this is. So yeah, my mom was really fucking angry and upset about this, that she like, didn't get it. The unstoppable girl boss versus the immovable gaslight. I'm gonna take screenshots of your chats and send them to her because she's gonna think this is so funny. Oh my God. This is so funny. She couldn't have a political career if she lost congressional races multiple times, duh. Also, thanks for the follow, Robot Suitcase, Mellow Storm, Fatima OIO, Kate Corn, everybody, thank you. But yeah, according to my mother, she had so much cognitive dissonance, and it was so obvious that she was completely blind to her own privilege. My mom said that she has never met someone with less self-awareness than Phyllis Schlafly. Because my mom said she tried to talk to her about, like, well, what about women in this situation? Like, my mom tried to kind of push her on the fact that she said, like, women are so privileged, and she just kept referring back to her own life and her own experience, and, like, she literally just has zero empathy. Like, she has no self-awareness, no empathy, no sympathy, nothing of the sort, no humanity. She really only gives a fuck about herself and her own children. Me to myself, when I realized Phyllis Schlafly is the most successful female, one of the most successful female organizers I've come across. I still think it's, like, kind of hilarious that this, like, really started because she, like, lost the race for Congress and was embarrassed and was like, well, I guess I have to pick a new topic. So Schlafly died of cancer shortly before Donald Trump was elected. She died. So what did your mom end up writing? I have no idea. I think she just wrote, like, well, the few things she could get out of her. I don't know. She said she tried to wrap it up and be professional and talk to her about, like, what she's up to now and, like, her proudest moments and, like, stuff like that. So she probably just, like, wrote some, like, bullshit fluff piece, which is why she stopped being a journalist. Because she hated it, like, doing stuff like that. So Phyllis Schlafly died when she was 92. Here is her a few months prior to her death doing what she loved most, fucking over women everywhere by endorsing Donald Trump. This is her at a Trump campaign rally. That's her with Donald Trump. Yeah, so she is dead. Fortunately, she cannot hurt us any more than she already has, like I said on TikTok. But yeah, that's her career. The biggest gaslighter that we have out here. The game honestly sucks. Like, I'm going to be honest with you. It's kind of a joke. Look at this, classmates. These images are such a surprise. Thank God she wasn't around for QAnon. She doesn't know how to use the internet. Which one are we going to do? Let's do the carnival one. So the game I had to make, like, super quick because I was running out of time. So it's really, really easy. So speed is going to be key here because you get more points the faster you answer. That's what I'm going to say. Carnival because she's a clown. Exactly. Took the words out of my mouth. I am pet food. But if you are not in the Nearpod and you want to join the game, there's the link. You don't have to make an account or anything, but it is going to show whatever name you put in. So if you don't want to give us your government name, put something else. But yeah, let's get into it. Let's play our game. It's a very, like, lots of true false. I made it really quick. Sorry in advance if I fucked anything up. Like, you know how sometimes I put the wrong thing as a right answer and fuck up that way? Sorry in advance if that happens. Guys, I just got an email about being an ambassador for Big Future, which is like College Board / SAT. Being an ambassador, like a brand deal? Like, what do you mean being an ambassador? Like, is it a job or, like, are you, like, an influencer for them now? It's like, hey, guys, welcome to my channel. Today I want to talk to you about why the SAT is that bitch over the ACT. Like, imagine being an influencer for that. Honestly, if they paid me enough. I'm just kidding. I hate the SAT. I would, like, take the money and then just do a really bad job and, like, not try so that the videos flopped. And then I'd have to, like, formally apologize, you know what I mean? No, for my school, like, being the person who teaches about SAT and helping. Oh, that makes sense. I mean, if you're into it, do it. It could be a cool opportunity. I'm going to give you a couple more minutes to join the game. Oh my god, there's so many of the unicorns here. There's 16 people on here. I'll give people a few more minutes to join. Dun, 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 dun. Anybody? Let me drop the Nearpod link again. Also, I don't want to jinx myself, but I updated my Twitch streaming thing, and the chat has been better this time. If you notice, the chat has not been freezing. you notice, it's better, so maybe we don't need to switch. Let me make sure that I like you all's class now. I don't know. While we're playing the game, be thinking about the meme for the class photo, because I don't love the one that we took earlier, so we're probably going to redo that. The chat has been good, right? It's been like kind of like doing a great job. Okay, there's 19 people. I haven't seen anyone join in a second. I'm going to hit start. If you're not in yet, it'll still let you join. What did we learn about today? I wish that I had a backyard and a garage to crafts in. Do you guys ever think about that? I just want a craft room. I love the Euphoria. I love Euphoria or the Girl Boss Gaslight meme. Okay, we might go with Girl Boss Gaslight. All day, every day, I think about that. What I wonder is that in the chat, you guys' names are different colors than they are on the screen. Isn't that weird? Like, how does it decide what colors? Like, do you pick the colors? I don't recall ever picking my colors of my name. I don't watch anyone on Twitch. Do you guys feel like I would do better on here if I watched people? Like, am I doing something wrong? Like, should I be learning from other people? You know what I mean? I don't know. Y'all are quick. I told you this game was easy. I wasn't lying. I just got really hungry. I ate my Chick-fil-A too fast and I didn't enjoy it because I was stressed out. I don't pick the colors, they just happen. Got it. Thank you, Lemur Banana. I'm eating breakfast for dinner. You're literally my only reason for having Twitch. Thank you, ZK Butterworth. That means a lot. I thought about switching to YouTube Live, but Oh, you clicked the wrong one. You may have spoken too soon. The chat is broken. I like how it's frozen on the chat has been good. Thank you. I did speak too soon. I did jinx us. Oh well. It's been better though. It was better than usual. It's not great, but better. Same, honestly, about the only reason I use Twitch. That's some great comedic timing on your part. I have a gift. What can I say? It's still not working. Oh, God. Incredible. Truly. Iconic. A legend. She is the moment. See if it works now. There we go. Drama Queen, I clicked the wrong one. It's the worst, I'm sorry. My students, whenever they would do that, they'd be like, I clicked the wrong one. Can you start the game over? I was like, no, there's 30 people in here. Why would I start it over because you clicked the wrong one? Are you crazy? Phyllis Schlafly was not aware that the claims she was making about the ERA were incorrect. You can see I forgot to put ERA. Phyllis Schlafly was a stay-at-home mother. According to me, not according to her. This question is written from my perspective. Just to level set that. Last question, too. But I'm also only on Twitch solely for the redacted streams. Thank you. That means a lot. I feel like a lot of people are only on Twitch for one or two creators. Like, I feel like there's a lot of people who are on here just for that, you know? Is there anyone on here who found me on Twitch and not from TikTok? Like, is there anyone who that was how you found me, was through Twitch and you didn't know about my TikTok? I highly doubt it. Mellow Storm in number 2. So, number 1 is Apples. We have Becca in number 2. Drama Queen in 3. Then Alex, Lemur Banana, Gas Station Roller, Misty Field, Quarter Life Crisis, Josie, ZK Butterworth, Madeline, Mariana, Fatima, Pitty, Maggie, Super Bunny, Elizabeth, Nora, Ruth, Purple Cat, and Giuseppe. Thank you, thank you. What do we want to use as our class photo? I'm watching Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man after this. Ooh, love that for us. What do we want to use as the class photo? Not this one. I use this meme way too much. Twitch doesn't have a great discover feature. It's hard to find cool people. Yeah. Oh my god, Lady Nicebite, you found me on Twitch? I like the last one of her with the crown. I do too. Where'd it go? This one? I watch a lot of people on Twitch. It's def hard to get if you're brand new. The Abby Lee one. I do like the Abby Lee one. Okay. I think I could do something. Oh my god. Hold on. This is also a good one. I don't want to do true false. I want to do a poll. Totally at random. I liked it, so I stayed. Thanks, Lady Nice Butt. That means a lot. Okay, do we want to do Abby Lee or this one? That's what I'm deciding between. I feel like the Abby Lee one, because even though this meme is better, I think it's too little. I thought you took one. I didn't like it. This one's too little. Like, the text is not going to be readable in the YouTube thumbnail. So I think we should go Abby Lee, personally. Abby Lee. Apples, I've been a long time TikTok follower. Oh my god. So before we take our class photo, I have to tell you all about something. So I posted a TikTok the other day about my boyfriend. And so a bunch of people in the comment were like asking about him or whatever. And then people were asking if he's black. Because if you saw a TikTok, it's talking about how he thought I could leave my hair in braids for like a long ass time. But that doesn't work that way. But anyway, so someone in the comments was like, yeah, she used to post her boyfriend a lot when she first started on here. They might still be there. And someone else was like, no, that was a different boyfriend. And I have never been more embarrassed in my life. I was like, damn, people on the internet are really talking about how I'm like jumping man to man. Like, that's embarrassing for me. And people were like, oh, I didn't realize they broke up. And I was like, I didn't really talk about it. Like, we broke up and then I got a new boyfriend that's way better. Like, I upgraded. I had an upgrade, you know? I commented on one of your TikToks and it wasn't even a good comment, but it has so many likes for what reason? What was the comment? I died reading those comments. I know, I literally was just like, last one doesn't count. No, it literally doesn't. And like, I don't know who that was. Like, who was I? We don't know her. We don't know. Okay. About Scorpio men. That's how I viewed my personal life. Okay, we need to take our class photo. So everyone talk shit about Phyllis Schlafly. Everyone in the chat, give me your best Phyllis Schlafly joke that you have. Gaslight, gatekeep, girl boss, make fun of her for Congress. Like, literally, just chat right now. Go in on Phyllis Schlafly. Hello. Guitar Santa, hello. Everyone go in on Phyllis Schlafly. Me and the homies hate Phil. Thank you, ZK Butterworth. Phyllis Schlafly, queen of mommy issues. Very good. I'm very proud of you all for this chat right now. The MLM devil. Oh yeah, she's the worst. Phil said, do as I say, not as I do. She flopped and said no more rights. What'd she do lately? She's dead. She died in 2016. She died right before Donald Trump got elected. Those who can't take rights away from other women. She's a ugly slut. My God. She could have used her powers for anything, and she chose to defend the patriarchy. What kind of a name is Phyllis? Growing up, that was my neighbor's name, and she was kind of like the neighborhood Karen, but she did keep everybody safe. And like, if someone did something legitimately evil, she was gonna see to it. You know what I mean? Oh shit! Wow, I wondered where she'd been. I can't get elected, so you can't get rights. It was on your video about Frazzled. I literally said, not me scrolling from the Fraz video, and it has 900 likes. So I've noticed that happens a lot. Whenever I make a video about another video, everyone says that, like, because what happens is it comes up on my For You page. I watch it, and I'm like, I want to make a video about this, and I make it right then and right there. And then what happens is everyone in my comments is like, oh my God, the other video was right before yours on my For You page. So I think the For You page knows that I'm doing that and like curates it for you guys together sometimes. It doesn't always work. Phyllis Schlafly and Ronald Reagan versus having a decent country. Oh my God. Okay, but let me go ahead and go to the last slide. I have just a collaborate board. If anyone has memes they want to share, I'm probably going to head out in a little bit. But yeah, I don't know if Lena was here taking notes. I didn't see her. I hope she's doing okay. But any memes, any jokes, any Phyllis Schlafly talking shit? Oh my God. My dad is sending me like next door post, but he sends them as a link, so I can't fucking see them. Screw Phyllis. For fucking real. Today's stream was like exactly an hour and a half. Mama Redacted reacting to Phyllis, reacting to you. She's gonna be like so thrilled that you guys are talking about her. She's fake as fuck. Exactly. She's a fake bitch. Could never trust her. Okay. Not me dying. We're so honored you're telling your mother about us. One time, someone came up to me in public. Like, I was walking back to my car with my mom after we got brunch, and someone came up to me and was like, do you make TikToks? And she was so excited and very jealous. It was kind of funny. It was very, very funny. She left a generation of hideous gals in her wake. Mama Redacted. Okay. Have a great night, everyone. I loved this topic, loved this stream. There were a lot of first-time people here. Thank you to all my first-time people that were here. I appreciate it. Mama Redacted is the celebrity here. Me, it's her show. We're just living in it. The chat is broken, but it's not really worth fixing because we're about to leave. Oh my God, Phyllis Schlafly pretending like she didn't run for Congress. Nobody's gonna know. Good night, fam. Love you. Peace and love. Make good decisions. Sleep tight. Have a great night. See you on Monday. Adios.